Hey gamers, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be taking a quick dive into TimeShuffle, one of the most recent games to launch on the Avalanche blockchain. As always, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you follow us on this crypto gaming journey. But let's waste no time here. Let's talk about TimeShuffle. As the name implies, TimeShuffle is a free-to-play, play-to-earn RPG with a time travel theme. But that's the oversimplified definition of the game. For this particular video, we'll be looking at the story, the gameplay, and most importantly, the play-to-earn aspect of TimeShuffle. First, the story. Not much has been revealed yet about the world of TimeShuffle, but we do get a pretty good idea what's going on and how it sets the tone for the game to expand on. And here's what we know. In a not so distant future, an organization called Hexagon Corp stumbled upon an ancient artifact of alien origin, which ends up being the catalyst for a lot of technological advancements. This ends up being the source of a power struggle in the world that leads to a near extinction of the human race. Hexagon Corp spends a good number of years trying to find a solution and make things right. And inevitably, the solution ends up being time travel. They travel back in time and prevent the war from ever happening. But the peace wouldn't last, and an evil, power-hungry scientist from within Hexagon stole the technology, believing that the world was better after the war. Recognizing the threat this poses to the current prosperous timeline, Hexagon creates an elite team of time travelers and tasks them with protecting the current timeline from the evil scientist and his followers. And this is what gives birth to the gameplay loop of the game. You can choose to be a timekeeper, a part of the elite squad that want to preserve the current timeline, or to be a time breaker, a follower of the evil scientist who plans to alter events and return the world to a post-war timeline. As far as the gameplay goes, there are a lot of familiar aspects that make it easy to pick up and play, but there's also a decent amount of depth and complexity to it to ensure that you really have to think about what's going on in order to be successful in the game. I'm not going to dive too deep with the gameplay, but I'll give you the basics. It's important to note that the game is indeed free to play, but you'll have to level up and become a hero before you can start earning with the game. On the other hand, you can just purchase an NFT hero and start earning right away. Every game takes place with 3 to 5 heroes facing up on this platform where they can move and use various skills for attack and defense. It's always a battle between the timekeepers and the time breakers. The battle is turn-based as expected. For player versus player battles, you can have auto battles controlled by the AI, or you can engage actively in the battles and make the decisions yourself. What's interesting here is that for the active PvP battle, you will wager your heroes and or other tokens in the fight, and the loser will lose what he has wagered to the winner. But you'll also have missions where you'll likely be following the story of the game as it expands, and the battles here will be against AI. There's a lot to get into with the heroes, their abilities, in-game items and weapons, hero upgrades, and future hero releases, but that's for a future video. This first video is to help you decide if TimeShuffle is your type of game or not, and also give you some idea about the earning aspects of it. And with that, let's talk about the tokenomics. The 3 main tokens for TimeShuffle are TIMS, Gold, and their NFT items. The NFT items are the unique hero characters, items, DNA shuffle unit, which is used for breeding, the mystery NFT, and other future NFTs. Now, all of these can be bought and sold on the marketplace. And talking about buying, That's where the TIMS token comes in. TIMS is the main token for TimeShuffle, and it has a fixed supply of 350 million, which makes it deflationary. Here we can see the use cases for the TIMS token. However, I have one major concern here, which is that none of these use cases contribute to the burning of the TIMS token. We already know from the white paper that there will be fees associated with transactions on the marketplace, and these fees are going to the developers. We also know that 10% of those fees will be used for buybacks and burns. But the question remains, will it be enough to prevent a slow bleed of the token? A major problem that has plagued pretty much every play-to-earn title so far is the fact that their tokens are inevitably sold indefinitely. No one has been able to find a good model to counter this selling pressure with equal buying pressure. And so it's always good to keep this in mind while you invest. Also note that TIMS will not be given as in-game rewards. And that brings us to the gold token. This is the main in-game utility token, and it has an infinite supply. All of these actions will require the use of the gold token. It's not clear from the white paper whether the gold token will be tradable or not. I assume that it will be tradable, but I could argue it would be better if it wasn't tradable, because this could lead to a pay-to-win system where those with the most amount of money can skip the gameplay grind and simply pay to get ahead of the competition. So that's a brief overview of TimeShuffle and enough info to let you decide if this interests you or not. But what is my opinion on TimeShuffle? Well, I haven't gotten a chance to actually play the game, although a playable version was available for a short period of time recently. But from what I've seen so far of the gameplay shown, I can't give too much criticism because this isn't close to a release version. However, one important gameplay aspect I hope they allocate resources to is sound effects, music, and voiceovers. The gameplay videos I've seen so far have lacked a lot of life because these features were missing. If you're making a game with some of the most iconic heroic figures, then you want them to have as much life as possible, and that means giving them a voice. Sound effects can do a whole lot for the game, especially with the already limited motion the game will have. I think the storyline is great and leaves a lot of room for them to build upon, and I also think the team have shown that they know how to build a game before ever asking for a dime from the players. I didn't talk about the TimeShuffle Founders Pass that is currently being minted, but I also think the Founders Pass is too expensive for most people, and that's apparent because about 18% of the passes have been sold so far. In current market conditions, not a lot of people will mint an NFT for 6 AVAX, and the price is set to increase even more after the first batch is sold. But don't get me wrong, the rewards you'll get with the Founders Pass are incredible and may well be worth it for those who invest, provided the game is successful. But at the same time, not having a Founders Pass will not necessarily leave you handicapped when the game launches. So overall, I'm bullish on TimeShuffle. I think the game can be genuinely fun to play if done properly, but I remain concerned about the tokens and how they will hold their value as the game launches and progresses. And that's it for now. When a playable version of the game becomes publicly available again, I will capture some footage and try to give a gameplay overview, as well as dive deeper into the hero system and different NFTs within the game. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, stay safe, and earn on, gamers. You deserve it.